everyone involved in the Oak Island universe is that type of person. You guys, I can tell you're that type of person. You hear a story like this, you latch onto it like a dog, and you're just like, let's go. And yes, it's frustrating. And yes, you want it to be solved tomorrow. And yes, who doesn't want to find a chest of gold? Of course we do. Of course, everyone does. But it doesn't work like that sometimes. These things are hard. And so it's taking what it's taking. And that is, in this case, 10 years.
Right. How does it affect us in changing of the history or getting down to the nitty gritty of the history?
It won't change history. It will explain.
There you go. Perfect. Thank you. That's what I was.
It will explain parts of North American history you've never thought about.
See, I can't. The History Channel could not have come up with a better teaser than we just did right here. So I tell you what, stay tuned, folks, because this is going to be a good one. I can't wait.
This is Robert Clotworthy, the narrator of The Curse of Oak Island. And I have a question for you. Could it be that you are listening to The Curse of Oak Island and Beyond live stream?
This is a top pocket find, mate, for sure.
Hey everybody, Jeff here with the Curse of Oak Island and Beyond live stream and JFree 906 podcast, and welcome here tonight. Appreciate you guys showing up. Let's see. I wanted to give you guys a little bit of a, oh my gosh, I didn't even see this. What is that? Oh my gosh, look at here. Jim. Wow, love the show. Thank you so much, Jim. That is awesome. Wow, very much appreciated. Thank you so very, very much. I appreciate that. Wanted to give a shout out to Jim. Thanks, Jim. Appreciate it. And also Paula for coming out here tonight. Jackie, let's see, who else we got? Let's see. Paula and Jackie were like the first ones in there. They were having a nice chat at the beginning before we even got started. Kathy's here. $Sand Ray, Craig Robbins, Big Jim. Big Jim is here. Joanne. Hi, Joanne. Let's see. Tom Burns. Hey, Tom. Let's see. Curtis Bennett. David's here. Winston. Dana. Let's see. Who else we got? Oh my gosh. And there's quite a few over. Tara's here. Barbara's here. Joe is here. Bernard. Jan. Hi, Jan. Jess. Hi, Jess. Anne Marie. Alessandra. Oh, appreciate you guys. And Pat, appreciate you all coming here tonight. I am going to be talking about last night's Curse of Oak Island drilling down. It was episode number 2 of Drilling Down's season 10. And it was great. Here they talk about all these different things about going on in the money pit. Now it was decoding the money pit. And it was really cool because Matty goes out there and he takes us through an hour-long episode of all the different stuff that's been happening, or quite a bit of the important things that have been happening in the money pit, and kind of decoding what they found so far. And I thought it was a great episode. I thought they keyed on some things that were mentioned that I did not see before. Or at least I wasn't aware of or had forgotten. Some very important key points that I'll hopefully bring up tonight. I am going to have the phone line open tonight also. So I'm really hoping that you guys will call in, and also Discord. We have quite a few people that are starting to show up in Discord. What I like to do is hang out there on Tuesday nights during the reruns of The Curse of Oak Island. I kind of hang out in there. I can hang out. Sometimes I'm in the voice chat where you can just sit and talk with me, voice talk, if you want to do that. And then I also have the portion going on where it's just typing chat. So what we do is during the commercials of the Oak Island actual, the new show, we're in there typing with each other, kind of sharing, oh, did you see that? Or I don't know about that. What do you think? And so we're kind of having some fun in there. So Discord's kind of fun if you want to check it out. I know for a lot of folks, it might be a little intimidating to get in there and, mess with Discord. It is a voice chat and also text chat program. You can share screens in there. You can share pictures in there. You can share all kinds of stuff. It's really kind of cool. I've got it set up with Skinwalker Ranch rooms. I've got Oak Island rooms in there and all that kind of stuff if you want to come in and check it out. But I wanted to let you know, for any of you that are in there tonight, I will be logging into the server on the voice side of it here in just a few minutes. And if you want to join or you want to say something, I'm going to ask that you stay muted unless you want to ask or get on the show and ask a question. And then you can unmute. Let me know first. Kind of give me a forewarning that you want to say something. Maybe type it in the chat first. It's the first time I've done it this way, so we'll figure out how that goes. We'll kind of hopefully it won't get too messy. But if you'd like to make a comment that everyone will hear, you're welcome to do so through that. But when I actually give the word for that, okay? So if you want to go to Discord, there is a link below in the description of the show. You can click on that link. You go sign up. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. It's a pretty simple process to get in there, to get into Discord and get that all working. And then you can be in there and chat with us on Tuesday night about the show. There's about 5 or 6 of us in there that really kind of chatted up on Tuesday nights and whatnot. And I'm in there sometimes, all their times as well. So you're welcome to use that. But I will have the phone line up here in just a little bit, and you can call in. We can talk about last night's show. We can talk about Oak Island, any of the seasons or season 10 that's going on right now. But I'm going to have the phone line open, just kind of an interactive night here, the last show before the end of 2022. So let's just have some fun here tonight and kind of talk about that a little bit. I also, hey, Bass is here. Jan is here. Jan Scarza, Pat's here, Keith's here, William, Jess, I said, okay, Ray R, Bill, Wade, Dina. Oh my gosh, a lot of you guys are here already. I really appreciate your coming by tonight and hanging out. Really, just let me know if you want to talk about some stuff. And I think I've got the phone line thing figured out now. Last time it was kind of a little bit of a I had some issue with it, put it that way. I just had a few problems. Hopefully tonight it won't be that big of a mess like it was last time. Kat's here, Ellen, Elle's here. Wow. Richard Cornwell. Hey, Richard. Let's see. Deborah. Wow. Noel. Hey, Noel. How you doing? Mike is at work, but he says hi. All right. I appreciate that. Thanks. That's cool. Coming up on the show, I tell you, I thought Beyond Oak Island was done. I really did. I thought it was all done. I didn't think there was going to be any more Beyond Oak Island, but lo and behold, they fooled me. So Beyond Oak Island. So next Tuesday, the 3rd, we've got A Curse of Oak Island, and I believe Curse of Oak Island is at 9, and then Beyond's at 10. I think, is that the way it's going? Linda, give me a nod if that's true. If I got that right. Yes. Okay. So Curse of Oak Island at 9, Beyond is at 10. And so I'm going to do my very best, folks, to get prepared to do Curse of Oak Island recap on Wednesday night, and then Beyond Oak Island recap on Thursday night. Just getting ready for Curse of Oak Island is hard enough. And I'm going to have 2 shows to try to get ready for back to back to back. So, yeah. Hey, you like that? Yeah, that was, you know what? This t-shirt, I have to tell you, somebody said nice t-shirt. Who was that? I got to see who that was. But this t-shirt was actually sent to me as a gift from Alessandra Nadavari. And I cannot thank Alessandra enough for granting me with an Oak Island t-shirt. So I love to wear it. So that's next Tuesday, the 3rd, Oak Island and Beyond. And then I'm going to try to do a recap I will do a recap of Oak Island on Wednesday night. And then that's the 4th. And then Beyond Oak Island recap on the 5th. And I never did tell Linda, yes, if we want to get the people that were going to be on that show, yes, I never did answer your question, but yes, we can get them to come on, that would be awesome. Some of the people that are on it, because Jan has been doing a great job of getting folks like Melvin Apt on, and the Fishers from down in North Carolina, Jess and Mike Grollo to come on. Doing a fantastic job with that, and I really appreciate it. Even Linda steps in and helps with that too. But so if we can get those guys, that would be great. I'd love that. Let's see. Oh, it's Doug is here. Doug. Is that Doug Kroll? No, can't be Doug Kroll. I don't know. Anyway, Jeff's in the house. Hey, Jeff. Yeah, you can do it. 2 shows, no problem. Yes, I'm going to be very, very busy. That's for sure. Easton has the same shirt. It's his favorite shirt. Rick gave it to him, so he treasures it. Oh, I bet. Yeah. Yep. Well, I tell you, mine came from Alessandra, so I treasure this one. But okay, so coming up the next week after that, Pete Kelsey. Now, Pete Kelsey has been doing some LiDAR. He's a LiDAR expert. He takes his drone or the handheld and he does LiDAR images. He's been out at Skinwalker Ranch. He's also been on Expedition Bigfoot. He's done LiDAR out there. So he's done a lot of cool things. He's going to be on the show, and that's on the 12th. This is where Beyond Oak Island is going to get kind of sticky here a little bit. Because I always did it on Thursday nights. So Thursday night the 12th, because I didn't know we were going to have more Beyonds, Pete Kelsey's going to be on the 12th. And then on the 19th, the following Thursday night, we have the Treasures in America team. Tim Draper and his crew will be on. These guys have been searching for mines that were made by the Spanish when they came up from South America into North America. And there's a lot of evidence that they've been here. We know that they were up into North America. And those guys are out there searching for mines in Utah and all that area out there. So we're going to have them on the 19th. A little bit of the treasure hunting side of the show that I like to do. And then on the 21st, we are going to have Luca, and we are going to have, there's going to be so many people. I've never tried to have this many people. I think the most we've had on the show is like six of us in the show at one time. We're going to have 10 of us on the show at one time. Luca and I are going to be surrounded by a bunch of lovely ladies on the show. That is going to be the 21st. Luca Santoni and 8 women will be on with us, and we're going to be talking about Templars episode number 4 coming out. He's going to be talking about the that getting started, and I have to show you this. This is one of the pictures that is leading into this, and this is about this episode number 4 is going to be featuring Gurid the Fair. Now, Gurid was a woman who was, well, let's just show you a picture. This is Amy Johnson, who plays the part in Luca's show. Let's see. Let me click on the right stuff here. And that's her right there. And I think this is going to be the lead picture for that episode. And she is playing Gurid the Fair. And a lady that was up from, oh my gosh, Iceland. Oh, Luca's going to be mad because I don't remember. If you're out there, Luca, make sure you correct me on that. But this is an amazing story of this lady that is involved with coming over from that area and making her way down into North America, into Nova Scotia area and all of that. So, yeah, you're going to want to check this out. On the 21st is the season premiere of that particular episode, number 4, coming out. And she and Luca and the team, all of these people that are involved in this episode are going to be on the show. Gretchen will be here. We're going to have, it's going to be a packed room for us. I probably won't do a whole lot of talking other than to get things rolling. And then Luca and then that team is going to take it over. And they're going to tell us all about, yes, thank you, Alessandra. I appreciate that. Gurid is from Iceland. That's what I thought. I thought I remembered that correctly. I helped out Luca a little bit doing some interviews for the film. And so it's going to be cool. So you're going to want to be here. That's the 21st. It's a Saturday. We're going to do this. I think it's at 2:00. I will make sure it's promote everybody. And I'll be talking about it leading up to this. We'll get you the actual, I believe it's 2:00 in the afternoon on the 21st. And we're going to be talking about this. We have to do it earlier in the day because many of these folks are from they're from overseas. So, yeah, it's going to be, so we had to do it early enough so they're not, like Gretchen, the show's at 7:30 or way too late for her. So anyway, you guys aren't going to want to miss that one. There's another picture he sent me. I think it's the very next one here. Yeah, this kind of shows the whole, yeah, I can't read this language, but this kind of shows the track that this woman took during her time. She actually went to see the Pope and all kinds of stuff. So this is a person I had never heard of before. So it's going to be an interesting show, and we're going to talk about it, and then the episode will be released. If you haven't seen the other ones, episodes 1 through 3, you really need to go check those out. They're out, available on Amazon. You can check them out on Amazon. It's the Templars TV series. 3 episodes are out now. 4 is coming out. We're going to be talking about it. All right. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to it. So anyway, so that's the 21st. I tell you, I'm getting an opportunity being down here. I am down here in North Central Florida now, back in the mobile unit, and finally got some warm weather. Today was like 68 degrees, but it's been freezing down here. I know, not as cold as many of you up north of here have had to deal with. I understand that. But today was actually nice and sunny. I actually got out, played some disc golf today. I'm going to go see Melvin Apt. Remember Melvin Apt from the Fisher, the diving on the Atocha beyond Oak Island, from the Fisher, Mel Fisher, and that whole the museum. I'm going down to meet Melvin tomorrow. Can't wait for that. Going to be meeting Lucas and Tony later on this month. Going to be meeting with Joe. Remember Captain Joe? Going to be meeting with Captain Joe. I'm telling you, I'm having a blast being down here in Florida right now, and I can't wait. All this stuff is happening in this month, and just going to be really, really busy. Yes, it did. Jeff, it did warm up, which is good. That's what Keith says. So good. Yeah. We'll be in Orlando in March. Oh, sweet. Well, I'll be actually in March. I'm heading for Texas, so I probably won't be here. I'm going to Texas because I'm going out there. Gypsy Jules is having a metal detecting extravaganza going on out there. If you got to check that out, so go to her website, check out her website. That's Gypsy Jules, and Zero Discrimination on her Facebook page. And for those of you who metal detect, you'll know what that means, zero discrimination. But I'm going to be going out to her event that she's having on March 17th in Texas, Kerrville, Texas. So I'll be out there for that. And then I'm going to be out west for a while doing some other stuff. So anyway, lots of things coming up. This is going to be a great season coming up, folks. We're going to have a lot of stuff to talk about, for sure. So let's get to this, because I want to get to some phone calls. So I'm going to start running through some of this here real quick. And I get my pictures ready here, and we'll start talking a little bit about last night's episode. So please jump in the chat for now if you'd like, and you can kind of help me go along the episode. Who said that? That's oh, there you go, Jeff. Looks like you wish your wish comes true. Yes, it truly has. It truly has. That's been the blessing of this show. I tell you honestly, to meet such wonderful people. I got to meet Jess Grollo and her husband Mike in person in Escanaba, Michigan. That was super. I mean, it's just getting to meet these folks is just awesome. It truly, truly is. Been a blessing. It really has. All right, let's jump on with the show here a little bit, and let's get into drilling down. This was episode number 2. It was called Decoding the Money Pit. Get my mouse in the right spot here. Yeah, the Money Pit Decoded. I'm sorry, the Money Pit Decoded. And there's a good shot of Oak Island from the sky, from a drone shot. And good old Matty Blake, who's been on the show with us. He's started things off there in the Money Pit. They jump over to the war room, and they get in there with the team, and they start talking a little bit about some of the things that, talking about the Money Pit and some of the things about that, some of the intricacies about the Money Pit, one of which was they said that there could possibly be multiple locations where the Money Pit is. They still haven't found it. 1850, in the middle 1800s, is when the Money Pit basically was gone. They lost track of where it was. And they've been searching for it ever since, and trying to find out exactly the original Money Pit that the three men, I'm not going to say young boys, because they weren't young boys at that time. They were men. That's Vaughn, Smith, and was it Ball? Was Mr. Ball, Samuel Ball? Was he one of them? Because his name was on the paperwork, or in one article, saying that he was with Vaughn and McGinnis. It was Vaughn McGinnis. I think it was Vaughn McGinnis and Samuel Ball. Maybe I got to see on that. Ball and McGinnis. Oh, but his name was stricken, and it was then Smith, Vaughn, and McGinnis. So was Ball involved in it in the first place, or was he not? Why was his name taken off the one article, and then Smith was added? And Smith is the one who owned that lot at the time. So I don't know. Pretty interesting. So, but so when they found that in 1795, that original money pit became lost in the middle 1800s. Yeah, McGinnis, but Ball in first Ludenberg history. Yeah, thank you. Who was that? That was Doug. Yeah, thank you, Doug. Appreciate that. So why was his name taken off and all of a sudden, um, Smith was put on in his place? That's pretty interesting, isn't it? But the guys get in there and they start talking about it. In 1896, the Oak Island Treasure Company took a year to put a shaft in, and they missed it. They'd missed it too. And over the time, 15 different search companies had looked to trying to find the money pit. And here's just a shot of the island. As we all well know, we've seen many of these pictures like this before. But I love this collage. They put up this collage. It was two different pictures showing two different slides showing 4 each of 8 different teams that were looking for the money pit going back. And I just love these pictures. I love these historical pictures. And you can see the different ways they were trying to make their own tunnels. And, I was looking at this here, this guy standing on a shaft. And was this possibly a, I got to get back to here. Sorry. Was this possibly the garden shaft? I don't know. It's kind of weird, but because you see this roped off area. So at one point they knew where it was. And then of course you got the Restalls, the Truro Company, and you also have in later days you have Robert Dunfield, and then of course in the 1900s you got Robert Dunfield, and of course Dan Blankenship and that team that was looking for it as well. So yeah, maybe they had other plans for Ball. Yeah, maybe. Could be. Every one of these teams that tried to get down there succumbed to, they had to do some pumping. They came to flooded tunnels or flooded shafts. And then they also came to just collapsing with the flooding and the collapsing and everything going on. They never got anywhere, all of them. So there are 15 different companies. So I thought that was kind of neat. 15 different companies. They were asked Matty kind of went around the table there in the war room, and he was kind of asking everybody what they thought about it. Scott kind of thinks it might still be the garden shaft, might be the actual entrance to the money pit. Rick Lagina always says, we just don't know. We just don't have enough information to tell us for sure if it is the original money pit or not. So he's still not on board with that. But Scott kind of thought he was. Charles still has a fondness for C1. C1, I tell you what, and we're going to get to that here as we go along, but I'm just laughing at some of the chat here. Hi, Jess. Hi, Squeaks. C1 has a void down there, and that's the only caisson that they left in was C1. Why did they leave it in? They left it in because there's a void at the bottom of it. When they originally put in the pipe or the borehole, the 6-inch well then they hit into C1. They hit what the guy said at that time. That wasn't Choice Drilling back then. It was a different company, but they actually had a 20-foot void. So it's 20 feet deep. But they did put a camera down there. Matty got to go and check that out, which was really cool. So 1800, the mid 1800s, the money pit was lost. And historically, this is something else that I always wondered how many, but this is something. How many of you knew that historically documented 24 different shafts, searcher shafts, were put into the money pit area, around that area? Now, I don't know if that means 10x down or just a money pit flat level, the area that they made, but 24 documented shafts. I had no idea. I didn't know it was that many. And then you heard Rick say, if you watched the show last night, Rick said you can add 20 to that. So nearly 40 some shafts were actually put in to the money pit. Were you guys aware of that? I wasn't. That's right, Doug. They got gold. Yeah, they got gold in the water from C1 also. Yes. But 24 were documented, and Rick said you could add another 20 to it. He said R.V. Harris did document some of them. I had no idea. So when you're down there, and they were down there pulling up, and they were putting caissons in, and they were pulling up all this wood, and that's why it was so important to go down there and date the wood that they were pulling up, because then it would tell them whether or not it was searcher post 1795 or pre 1795. Was it original depositors, or, as it was brought up again last night, multiple depositors? I'm sorry, multiple, maybe people going to take it out over the years. That was the first time I had heard him say that, because we've talked about the fact that maybe there was a treasure there at one point, but maybe it has been removed already. A little bit of a tilt on that because of the gold content, and that's what. And Tom, thank you, Tom. That's very well stated. It's salt water. The water down there in C1 is salt water, which means what? It's connected to the ocean. How can it be connected to the ocean unless there's a tunnel leading from the ocean to the underground void, open chamber down there? It has to be a tunnel that's been put in, or some sort of a natural tunnel to allow salt water to get down there. So that's a good point. They did mention that on the show last night, that it was salt water that's in C1. It's been tasted by Rick and also Charles. Charles tasted it as well to see if it was. Now the guys, the team, Oak Island Tours, Circuitrova, they have put down 21 caissons, and this is what Steve Gupta was saying, 21 caissons and almost 500 boreholes. 500 boreholes. Just shy of 500 boreholes. Wow. We knew about the 21 caissons, but almost 500 boreholes. It's amazing. Jess, yes, I know. So as am I, and Jack Campbell is very. By the way, Jack is doing better. He's on the mend. He's getting better. He's getting stronger again, and hopefully we'll see him soon. But Jack and I are both that chip shape anomaly, and it looks like they might be going after it in next week's show on the 3rd of January. It looks like they might be going after it again. They're going into the swamp with the little dinghy, and there is Tony Sampson pushing it around again. So we're going to see more. I hope they're going after the ship shape anomaly. I really do. I think that's going to be a good one. It would be so much easier if we could have Rick answering our many questions. Oh, so true. So yeah, getting back to C1 and the void down there, right? I'm going to go ahead and some pictures here. Oh, by the way, that was 153 feet when the chapel, when they hit the chapel, what they were calling the chapel shaft. It was 53 feet down. And that's the one that came up with the parchment, the piece of parchment that had the VI on it in old script, and also some remnant of gold on the drill head. If you guys remember that. And also the 90-foot stone. When the 90-foot stone was removed, water was trickling in, but they didn't think about it too much. They didn't think it was a worry. The next day they come back and it's flooded, completely flooded after they removed the 90-foot stone. Was it a trigger? Don't really know. Don't really know for sure. This is one of the old pictures of showing the overhead view. A plane flew over and took pictures of the money pit area at that time. That was really cool. Now, here's a couple of the shafts that they talked about, that they knew about. So you got the chapel shaft over here, and you got the head shaft over here. These are like the 5 that I think these 24 documented, but I don't know if they know where all of them are. But you got the chapel shaft over here, the head and shaft right here, and then you've got shaft 2 right here, right? Then you've got possible shaft D down here, which is just south of M16.25, which is where they did the sonar scan and found a that elbow. They found the tunnel down there with the sonar, and then the pictures they sent down, or with the camera they sent down, they got pictures of it. Remember that? And then so you got this possible shaft D that is in line for that, and so is shaft 2. I think might be in line for that tunnel that they were following. That's going up there. They call it the treasure tunnel now. That might be extending up towards that direction. So, and then you got shaft 9. I didn't even know. I heard of shaft 9. I didn't know where it was, but they think it's right here. And then a tunnel off of shaft 9. So those are the ones that they know about. And I think it's only about 5 that they have a good idea of where they are. David said the 90-foot stone was removed in 1804. Yep. I guess that's true. I don't remember exactly, but they didn't dig down originally. They didn't get down to the 90-foot stone initially, the 3 boys. They went and formed a company and came back later. So that, I think you're correct on that. So they are tracking tunnels at 103 feet. Chapel shaft or chapel vault's 153. Void is below that. Yeah, because the void in is at 171. 171 feet, I think it is. It's C1. So anyway, so they got I think there was 5 where they're pretty certain where they are. Then we have Robert Dunfield. Now, many of us have called, I am guilty myself of saying Dunfield the destroyer because he went in there and tore it up. But he did ruin a lot of landmarks, which was a bad thing. That was part of the thing. Without good documentation of some of these landmarks. Yeah, Kat said in 1804, yeah, the Onslow Syndicate. So they're the ones that pulled up the 90-foot stone. And also Dunfield did do some good because he's the one that put in the causeway. He's the one that built the causeway. And glad that he did. And there it is right there, a picture of them working on the causeway. Was this the 1960s, early 60s? I think it was, that they put the causeway in. And there's the hole that he dug with the crane. So they had a 100-foot hole that went down about 130 feet. But the interesting thing is, and you'll see when Steve Guptill showed a picture of this later on, it was pretty interesting. 1965. Thank you, Ray. That's when the causeway was put across. Yeah, it does definitely makes life easier. Yeah, that's interesting. Nova Scotia, and the gold is in quartz here. And I don't think there's been any quartz found in there, has there? In the money pit? So there's the hole that Dunfield had put in. And you see it right here. I think I was looking at this picture and I said, well, this is really hard to see, but I think this is the hole right here. I'm pretty sure that's it right there. I was looking at this picture they showed. I'm like, okay, which one's the hole? But it has to, I'm pretty certain it's this right here. And you see how much of an area it's 100 feet across, but it didn't go that deep. This picture here, I just had to grab it just because of all the boreholes that they put into the money pit. And they talking about these 5 circles here. These are the muon technology sensors down here, these green circles. And then you got the C1 cluster of 10-foot caissons they put in here. And then the one that was put in over here. This is the one where they went down and hit the edge of the head and shaft. OC1, I think that was OC1. And then shaft 9 way over here, which is where they're kind of looking now, isn't it? Here is the picture that I liked when I saw this. Was Steve Guptill showed this one, and this is that picture of the pit that Hedden had. I'm sorry, that Robert Dunfield had put in when he dug it. So what the interesting thing about this is, okay, yeah, it was 100 feet or at the top, but at the bottom, and most of this area here, it's no bigger than a caisson that went down. So he really didn't make that big of an impact in his looking and his searching. He got down there pretty deep, but when he got down to the bottom, it was only about 10 feet in diameter. So I thought that was really interesting to see this. And this is all Steve Guptill and his, following every borehole that they've put in. And you see how much some of them walk. But they've done boreholes much, much deeper than Hedden ever made. I mean, that Robert Dunfield ever made it down to. So you can see, I love this picture because that really gives you a better idea of what the Dunfield dig did not encompass all of the money pit. It only scratched the surface, quite honestly. By the time he got down to where there would have been any kind of structure, he never got that far down. So I don't remember how many, Linda, do you remember how many feet the Dunfield was at 100 and I forget how many feet down he made it. I can't remember. And here you see, again, you see this grid, and this is talking about the fact that they have 150 feet. So yeah, that's right. It was, yes, 150. So it was 100 feet across to 150 feet deep. But again, he missed it. But you see here, and this, all these red and it was still filling them in when I snapped this picture, but it was showing all the areas that they found gold in the water samples. And then you see the Dunfield area is this big circle here. That was the top of Dunfield. This bottom circle is the bottom of it. So it was about 10 feet at the bottom. And at the top, it was about 100 feet across. So he didn't get very far either. So you can see the bottom of it, how big or how small the bottom of it was right here. And when they put in F4, they went well beyond where Dunfield had ever made it with that. But they found gold in all of these boreholes. That was such a small area for Hedden. Looked so much bigger. Lack of organization in that dig, I think. Yeah. Very well, Renee. Very possible. But now we know that they're down here. And this is their M16.25 down here. And then they're following this tunnel that seems to be heading up this way towards the garden shaft. So it's heading right through this direction right here is the one they're chasing right now. And I'm curious where it goes the other direction, towards the ocean. Where does it go the other way? I think, yes, they need to chase it going towards the garden shaft right now and then get in there with Dumas Mining and then find out. But they also need to, I'd like to know, does it go to the ocean going the other direction? Just another shot of it there, again, showing the bottom of the Dunfield dig right there. Here's your C1 cluster going around C1. And then, of course, the other one was over at OC1, over at the corner of the head and shaft. Here they got back, and I wanted to see, they were in there talking again in the war room, and they were talking about C1 a little bit and some of the other caissons that they had put in. Yeah, what was the mercury thing? I know that they found empty vials of mercury. Didn't they find some like bottles that once contained mercury? I thought I remember talking about that. And what would the mercury have been used for? There's been talk about mercury being used to preserve papers, to keep them from getting wet with water, so they could put them in. You put them in some sort of a box and then pour mercury in there, and it preserves them, keeps them from getting wet and destroyed. I can't see any other reason why they would have used mercury. Then they go out to C1. And again, like I was saying, C1 is the only caisson that still has the caisson still in the ground. Medicinal purposes. Yeah. Mercury is used to separate gold. Ah, that's right. Silver purification. Yep. See, that's why I love you guys in the chat. You got some good input. And I'm going to get the phone line open here in just a little bit. Then you guys can call in. It was said a trash pile of ceramic flasks, some of which had a remnant of quicksilver, which had been used for smelting of gold. Thank you, David. C1 was the caisson that entered into a chamber, a void area that was about 20 feet. When they originally did the drill, the borehole, the 6-inch borehole, that's when they had that drop. And the guy was just showing how it was just dropping all the way through. Well, then they put the caisson in there later on. When they put that caisson in 2015, they had a 20-foot void at 171 feet. That was 2015 was the borehole. I'm sorry, the 6-inch borehole. 171 feet down. They had a 20-foot void. They put a camera down. That's when they found that little gold thingy embedded in the wall down there. The little shiny gold thing. 2016 is when they put the 4-foot caisson down there. And then Mike Huntley actually went down. Remember when Mike Huntley dove on that? They said the cavity was actually about 176 feet. And I thought the interesting thing during this, when they put the camera down, this is a view of the first camera that went down there and saw a hole, of some sort of a void area down there. And then again, this is when Mike Huntley went down. And this is some of the pictures that were taken. You see the gold object right here. There's one right here. And then there's one right here. So 3 different ones. And one, the guy went down at the beginning of, yeah, it could be. Yeah, the mercury could have been used to preserve the Shakespeare's folio or Francis Bacon's, right? So yeah, they had these little gold objects. And when the diver went down, was at the beginning of season 9, the diver went down and he was picking at it and he picked it out and it went all the way to the bottom. He didn't catch it. So it's now whatever it was is now sitting on the bottom of C1. How many of you all just went, oh, when that happened? Now this is the new camera footage. Look at the clarity of this camera footage. They were talking about bedrock. So did they actually put the caisson, made it through the bedrock? Because they were talking about this being bedrock. I don't know. Butterfingers, I know, right? Yeah, here's the shot that I thought was pretty cool. We're seeing the bottom of C1. Now, this was when Matty was out there. They all go out and they They go down and they're looking down at the bottom of C1. Look at the bottom down there. Now I can't. I know. They were talking about seeing coins sitting down there and all this and that. I don't know about that, but there's got to be at least an inch of silt down there. What do you think? That's got to be more than that. I mean, I'm thinking at least an inch of silt, of just a fine dirt layer down there that has fallen and settled on the bottom of that thing that would get stirred up. A lot of people have said, why haven't they sent down a remote, you know, down there and to just cruise around and take pictures? I think it would just stir up so much sediment and never be able to see anything. They have to be very, very careful about making any disturbance down there whatsoever, because then they won't be able to see a thing until it settles again. Yeah, it could be more like 3 to 4 feet deep. You're right. Siltorama for sure. Indeed. But they saw some little things poking out, and they were saying, is that could be a coin? Is that a coin? I can't imagine a coin being visible underneath all this stuff. Yeah, the minute the water moves, it stirs it all up. You're exactly right. Yes, Winston, yes. That's what I have said before too. Use that airlift or some sort of a vacuum type system and suck all that out of there. I would do it. I'd be on that in a heartbeat. I mean, you still got the case on in there. Just get it done, right? Why not? Get it down there. And then they saw these. They were talking about them being coins. I don't know, folks. What do you think? Do you think those were coins? I don't know. There's a lot of little specks down there. Use a suction dredge. Yes. Are they coins? No. Nope. A lot of people are saying nope. No coins. Buttons. They're buttons. Gold buttons. Yeah. I don't know. They were talking about some of these little curved things, saying, oh, it's a coin down there standing on its edge or something. Maybe gold flakes. Yeah, maybe. I don't, yeah, and you're right, Darlene. I don't know how they, no, yeah, Dina said, I don't know how they could tell. I really don't. When they tried to zoom in on it, everything went blurry and they lost their image. All these little black things, you've seen all this stuff like floating down when they were going on down there. But, oh, okay. All right. Alessandro, thanks for coming by. Appreciate it. Thanks again for the shirt. Appreciate you. So I don't know, but it was really cool to look around down there. But one of the things that I wanted to talk about, yes, gold would sink to the bottom of the silt. Thank you, Tom. That's exactly my point. You're not going to see it laying on top. And depending upon how deep that silt is, you're not going to see it making a bump like this right here. Sticking up, a coin sticking up, unless it's standing on its edge. But one thing, somebody in my chat, I think Kevin mentioned it when we were in Discord and we were in chat. Kevin mentioned something that I'd been thinking about and he made comment on it. And that was, if you notice C1, there is no wood visible in the pictures. There's no wood. There's no framing for a tunnel. So what does that tell us? Does that tell us that C1 is a natural open cavity? Sure seems that way, doesn't it? A natural open cavity. So the tunneling, is it the tunnel? And they said, is that a tunnel leading off that? They can't tell. Too dark to tell. So if it's a natural cavity and it has seawater in it, is that seawater? Remember now, and I'm going to take you back for a second. Remember when they did the seismic testing across all the way down, they did the entire money pit and everything, and down to Smith's Cove. And they found, when they did the new data, the new technology, they ran the data against new software, and they found that there was some sort of a natural tunnel leading all the way from Smith's Cove up to the money pit. And then there was a 12 by 12, supposedly 12 by 12 void or chamber area up there. Remember that from season 9? Was that season 9? Could the C1 be that? Can't wait for the muon technology data to come through because I want to find out, because if it should show up in there if it were. Templars were professional tunnelers, yes. Now, would the Templars have better going through the bedrock than everything else? Anyway. If the cavity is in bedrock, it might not need wood supports. That's correct, Tom. That's correct. And that's what I was thinking about it being in bedrock. You wouldn't need those supports. You're exactly right. You're only going to need those supports in dirt where things could cave in. The bedrock's not going to cave in. That's interesting, Thor, that sonar could easily map C1, and it could. And I have to imagine that they've sent sonar down there. I mean, they haven't shown us. But here's an interesting point. Why? And I thought about this when they were talking about they mentioned this. I forget who said it, but the camera down, I think Matty was saying it, because Matty made a comment about they were putting this camera down. And you remember how Steve Guptill wasn't all that interested in watching it. He was putting the camera down. They've done it 4 to 5 times before. They've put this camera down C1 4 to 5 times before. They've all seen it before. And Charles mentioned each time they do, they see something else, something new. So they've been down there with the camera before. Have they put the sonar down there? Very good point. And if so, where's the pictures? I want to see that, Now they talked about D2. D2 was 8 feet away from C1. And D2 was one of the ones where they put in the 10-foot caisson in the C1 cluster. D2 was 8 feet away from C1, and they found lots of wood at 90 feet. Now, it's only 8 feet away from here, and they found lots of wood at 90 feet. Now, right now, they're chasing the other one that's at 103. And then last week, they had one that they saw that was about 90 feet, or it stopped it. Somewhere around 90 feet. Could this D2, the wood that they found in D2, could it be a tunnel that was leading to this bedrock area? But it was only at 90 feet, and this is 171. Not likely, right? But they hit wood at 90 feet. And the wood dated to 1488 to 1650. 1488 to 1650, folks. That was in D2, 8 feet away from C1. That's also where they found the metal fragment that had the gold on it. Remember that? So there's D2. There's C1. There's D2, 8 feet away. D2 had the metal fragment with gold on it. It had wood in it, dated to 1488 to 1650, and they hit bedrock at 150 feet. So C1 being at 171 it has to be in the bedrock, right? You put 2 and 2 together. They assume tunnels are built level. They may be on an incline. Very good point. That's Doug. Very good point, Doug. Hi, Susan. Susan's here. Kevin Dorsey. Hey, Kevin. So many questions. So many questions. I'm at almost an hour and I want to get to phone calls. I'm going to try to rush through this a little bit here. Okay, so 150 foot, they hit bedrock. C1 is 170-ish. It's 172, 73, something like that. Okay, OC1 was another one that you talked about. OC1 is 50 feet from C1. They found wood in it dated 1706. They also found that spike in the spoils that they were looking at later, and they went on the wash table and they found that spike that was about yay long that had the pot ash or fly ash. They called it fly ash cement on it. And remember, they talked about the chapel vault being covered in concrete, that they hit concrete first, then they hit wood, and then they were into a void area about 7 feet. When they pulled it up, they found bits of gold. They found a piece of parchment. So they think they hit the actual Chapel Vault, is what they were calling it. That was, and the wood was dated 1706 when Oak Island team pulled it up. They also hit some of the head and shaft wood because they went down right along the edge of it. Remember how the hammer grab was just pulling up tons of wood? That was the, excuse me, that was the head and shaft. A lot of the wood from the head and shaft they were pulling up until they got down pretty deep, and then they found some of the wood that dated 1706. H8 was also another one. They had a 6-inch that went down there, 6-inch borehole. Then they put a 5-foot case on down there. They found parchment paper, pieces of leather that they think was book binding, and they hit something solid at 170 feet. And that was H8. That was right down here at the bottom of the picture. Right down here was H8. Let's see. Oh, these were the guys that found this was that piece of that spike that had the fly ash on it. That was cement. Here's where she talks about it right here. Let's see. Yeah, right here, talking about this more similar to low Ca calcium fly ash and very high iron content. And again, that's significant because that concrete that was supposed to be on top of the chapel vault, that was all out of H8. This is where Vanessa comes over and tells Marty that they've hit something hard at 170 feet, that the pressure is over 150 millibars on the caisson as the oscillator is trying to push it down and run its side, spin it back and forth to cut its way through. They're getting 150 pounds pressure, which is more than they should. So they've hit something solid. This is where they think they hit the chapel shaft. Or, I'm sorry, the chapel vault. They think they hit the chapel vault. And then when they kept going, kept pushing, they think they pushed it out of the way. Because all of a sudden, the pressure released. They didn't get anything out of it, but they think that they just pushed it out of the way. That was H8. Okay. And remember, H8, if I can get back to it, was this one down here, way down here in the bottom. All right, the last part of the show, Matty gets Rick and Marty over there, and they're talking a little bit about some of the things. Now, interesting point that I wanted to bring up on this, too, is during this little conversation they were talking about that they had to stop. When Matty was there, he said, I noticed that there's no work going on here. The Dumas guys are not here working. They're not working in the garden shaft. What's up? Then they said they had to stop and they had to get permits. And if you listen closely, the permit was a mining permit. Now, remember, we talked about the mining permit that had been taken out years and years and years ago. And everybody said they saw that and they go, oh, well, they were mining for gold. That's what they were doing. It was it was mining for gold. Not necessarily. These guys had to take out a mining permit. And the reason they had to take out a mining permit was because they're putting men down into a mine. The guys are building this tunnel, or they're redoing the shaft, the garden shaft, and people are going down there. That is a different ball game. Now you have to get a mining permit because you're theoretically putting a mine shaft, or so to speak, down under the ground. So they had to stop continuing to go down and excavating or refurbishing the garden shaft because of mining, or because they needed a permit because now they're considered to go be doing mining. One thing too, so that throws that it could possibly explain what years ago why they had to have a mining permit, because of the same reasons. It doesn't mean that they were mining for gold or silver or anything else down there. It means that they were required to because people were going underground. And yeah. Well, Dumas they said about 50 days or so to get down to 100 and, I I forgot now, 77 feet, 80 feet or so to get the garden shaft refurbished down to 80 feet. It was going to take about 50 days. They had to stop. That's why, I mean, there were some complications and that's why it stretched out longer, but they were there for another 93 months after that too. So there was a lot more going on once they got back to work. There was a lot happening. Yes, Thor, it does. Drilling down really does. That's why I love these episodes. Yeah, 55 days to get to 77 feet. But they had to, we don't know where in that 55 days did they have to stop. We don't know exactly when Matty was out there doing that particular episode. So we don't know how far did they get when they had to stop. But that was, yeah, Winston, that was the 55 or 50 days was just to get to the bottom of it, not to go anywhere else, not to start going horizontally with a tunnel. That was 55 days just to get to the bottom of the 77 feet, which is the garden shaft. One thing that I thought that Rick had mentioned on here that I thought was pretty cool is Rick mentioned that shaft 6 plays a very important part. Because shaft 6, they knew at the time that shaft 6 was put in that it was 18 feet from the money pit. Because they knew at that time when shaft 6 was put in where the money pit was. And it was 18 feet. They went 18 feet over. They put in shaft 6, and then they were going to go down and then come over to it horizontally to get into the money pit rather than going straight down in through all the water and everything, all the flooding and everything else. They were going to try to come to it 18 feet away. So Renee, that's a good point. And I thought about that too. I don't know the answer to that. Wouldn't Dumas, Renee says, wouldn't Dumas have done that in advance, get the permits? You would think so, but apparently, obviously they didn't. I mean, they must not have thought they needed to, but now all of a sudden everybody's calling all halt. Got to get permits to be going and doing mining. So, yeah, but you would think that they should have. That's a very good point, Renee. Thank you for bringing that up. Wonder if they ever made it 77 feet by the end of filming. I think they did. I really think they did, but that's a guess. That's my own speculation. I don't know. But like I said, Rick had said that you have to get down. You have to get down and know where shaft 6 is. The money pit's going to be 18 feet away. So wherever they think the money pit is, when they've got a very good idea, they need to go over and look and see if shaft 6 is 18 feet from that. Yeah, Dumas is a contractor, not a mine owner, but I don't know. You would kind of think they know that. I think they probably got down to 77 feet, but nowhere from there. I don't know. We shall see. We certainly shall see. I can't wait to find out. But I'm going to bring up that other picture. Let's see here. Okay, so shaft 6 is also one where they know where it is, but it's not on my picture. I was going to bring it up and see if I could show you where it was, but I don't have it on this particular picture. I do have a picture of it somewhere, but I can look for it later. Let's see. That was something else that was mentioned toward the end of the show. And people have talked about the fact they think that there have been possibly many attempts to actually go in and retrieve the treasure over the years prior to 1795. That people who knew where it was had made some attempts to go in and get it. That's possible. But and then people have said, well, it's gone. It was there. There was a treasure there, but it's gone now. It's been removed. But Ian Spooner says no, because Ian Spooner sticks with the theory that, or the precedent that because they found such a large concentration of gold and silver in the water, he says the treasure has to still be there to be able to produce that much content in the water. So what do you think about that? All right. Let's do this. Who wants to call in? I'm going to go ahead and put the number up. Let's see if I can find it here. There it is. All right. Let me know what you think. Call that number. I think I got this worked out where I won't screw this all up. We'll be able to get you on the air if you want to call in. I'm also going to jump over to StreamYard. I'm StreamYard to Discord. Let me do that real quick as well. I'm going to log into the Discord channel. So if anybody wants to talk through Discord, you'd be able to, but stay on mute. Please stay on mute until you want to say something. I see Big Joe's in here. Oh, we got a phone call. David. All right, here we go. Hold on. David, are you there? David, how you doing? So what you got? Okay, hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second, David. People are saying they can't hear you. Um, I can hear you perfectly, but nobody else can. Hold on a second. Let me I got you potted up. Let's see. It should be coming through. Hold on a second. Nope, no one can hear. Oh my goodness. All right. Hold on. Hold on. All right. Well, all right. Let me see if now. Can anybody hear him now? Go ahead and say can you guys hear him now? I'm waiting to see. It's like a 15 it's like a 15 your lips move, but we can't hear what you're saying. No, you can't hear me. What? Uh, no. They say no, they can't hear you. Man, I'm sorry. Yeah. All right. Thanks. Bye. Um, wow, that's weird because I have it all set up here. What he was saying was that he thinks that it's possible. If you guys can hear me, can you hear me? Okay, still, anyone hear me? Hello. The curse of Oak Island. Indeed, it is. Right. Wow, that's weird. Okay, you can hear me, but you couldn't hear him. Okay, what he was saying was that it was his awkward silence. Unplug your earphones. I know, right? Um, Everything's set. Should have been hearing him. Okay, you can hear me fine. Um, the call is not looping audio into the software, but yeah, it's coming through the board, which means it should be coming through the show. Let me check one more thing here. So if I have this up, you should have been able to hear it. Let me check this for just a second, folks. Bear with me. I'm sorry about that. I don't know why he was not coming through. And I thought I had this again. I thought I had this all worked out. The gist of what he was saying was that over the course of time, somebody came and retrieved what they needed from there, but they left a lot of the gold and silver because they didn't need it where they were going. They needed, if it had religious artifacts or things that were very much more important, they took those, left the gold and silver behind. And um, that's why the gold and silver would still be there. That's basically what he was saying and all of that. Um, Man, I don't know why that was not working. That should have been working. You guys should have been able to hear him. It's up. Everything's there. Well, I don't know. I'm going to try the Discord because I see somebody's in there. Big Joe's in there. Big Joe, are you there? Did you want to talk in here? I don't know if we can hear. I got another call. I'm going to try it, folks. Hello. Hey, it's Linda. Folks, can you hear Linda at all? Linda's on the phone right now. Can you guys hear her at all? Can't hear. Nope, they can't hear you. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry, folks. Um, yeah, I don't really understand. See, it even shows right here, speakers. I got it set up. Going through the going through the board. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. Hmm. All right, we're gonna try to take this one, see what happens. Jack Campbell, how are you, sir? I'm doing great. I don't think anybody can hear you because it's I'm having issue with this darn thing. Nobody can hear you, but Jack Campbell's on the phone, folks. How are you doing? Wow. Well, you sound good. Wow. Wow. Yeah. Jack is telling me right now that he's actually recovering. I can hear him pretty well. He sounds good. Say hi to Jack from all of us. That's what everybody is saying. Say hi to Jack. Um, yeah. I would love that, Jack. Jack is hoping that he can join me one night getting back on here. So that'd be great. Yes, it has been a good show this year. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. I agree with you 100%. It really has. Oh, I know. Yeah, he was just saying how many holes would be in the island right now. Yeah, well, we know about 21 caissons. No, what did I say earlier? 21 caissons and almost 500 boreholes. That's just incredible. Yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree. Yep. Yeah, I know. They're chasing it now, so they're trying to figure out exactly what's going on with it. I'm still trying to a little bit, see if I can get people to be able to hear you. Go ahead, keep talking.
out with pneumonia I had to get rid of course.
Right.
And I'm doing therapy here at home with people coming in. And Friday I go for my annual heart checkup and everything. But I'm starting to feel more alive again. So it's been a long ride.
Oh my goodness, I know, right?
Well, I'll be glad to see 2023. Because 2022 wasn't very nice to me.
No, you had a very rough 2022. That's absolutely sure. Oh my gosh. But we are so glad you are getting better, Jack. Everybody can hear you now. I got you coming through the speakers a little bit, and so you're low, but they can hear you.
Well, I would like to thank everyone for the kind thoughts, the prayers, and what you, Linda, Jan, Tom, Henry, it really helps me get along. It helps me feel better. And I mean that from the heart.
Well, I know everybody loves you, Jack, including me and the group. We all do, and we just hope that you can come back on the show one day. That's going to be the greatest show in a long time to have you be able to come back and join us one more time.
So, but I think around the money pit, they're getting close to something. And it seemed to get there, and then they find another tunnel. How many tunnels? We don't know yet.
I know. Isn't that something?
I mean, they look at their faces at 70 feet. When he said another tunnel, everybody looked like, what? I mean, never on a map, never on nothing.
Yep. What do you think about what's going on in the swamp? Are you looking forward to that?
Oh, yeah. I look forward to the swamp.
I thought you might.
My dream.
Yeah, well, we seen them out there pushing the dinghy around for next week's episode. They were pushing the dinghy around in the swamp, and so could it be that they're looking for the ship shape anomaly? What do you think?
You know me, I have said that almost from the beginning.
Yes, you have.
The ship down there.
Yep.
And you go back to when they were in Traverse City getting printout of everything. That sure did look like a ship.
Yes, it did. I agree.
So, well, I'm losing my voice, so I'm going to go. But I wanted to call and say hello and thank everybody.
Yep.
Hi, Linda, Dan, Tom, and Henry especially. You guys are great. Thanks a lot.
We miss you, Jack. We can't wait till you're back.
All right, thank you.
All right. Bye now. Okay. Well, I figured out a way to make it work. It's not the best, folks. It's basically I put it through my speakers and then pick it up on my microphone. So I'll make it work like that if I have to for right now. Well, we got to hear from Jack. Isn't that awesome? Oh man. Yep. Jack has had a very, very rough year. No doubt about it. Big Joe, you said you had you had something you would like to share a thought. He's over on Discord. Go ahead. Hopefully we can hear you in here.
Yeah. First of all, great show.
Oh,
Absolutely. Love watching it and then hearing everyone else's thoughts and the review. It kind of challenges my interpretation of the show. So great job.
Thank you so much. I wanted to tell you before you go on with that, I'm going to ask, can you guys hear Big Joe? Nod if you can, and Linda, nod if you can hear him. Oh, everybody says yes. Okay.
Oh, great.
Okay, good.
They
can hear you.
Yeah, a couple of things, and one is just a pet peeve for my personal experience, but in my social circles at church and other places, a lot of people that watch the show, and one of the things that I constantly hear is, they've been looking for 10 years and even longer, and they haven't found anything. But I think the truth of the matter is they found a tremendous amount of things.
I agree.
May not be the treasure that everyone was hoping for, but it's so much more intriguing, at least for me.
Yep.
And I think I'm more interested now than I was 10 years ago when the show first came on.
Yep.
But the real thought I wanted to share was, that they didn't mention any of the bones that they found at depth.
Yes.
And to me, that was terribly interesting. Because to me, that's some of the most compelling evidence.
I agree.
And I was just curious on your thoughts as to why they might have left that out.
I really don't know. It makes you wonder if now they're looking back at it going, maybe we better not talk about the bones. Maybe it wasn't, but they went through all of that. They found those bones. They dated the bones. They also did a DNA test on the bones and found out that one was European and one was Middle Eastern. And I believe one was female. Is that correct, Linda? Is that correct? One was female? Yes. And that you take that to the next step of the age of those bones. I think that is a very significant portion of what they found. And yet you're right. Since that time, they haven't talked about them really since. I don't get it. I really don't know why.
Do you think that maybe through their experience in the swamp with the First Nations people and in the way that kind of went sideways on them, do you think they might be afraid of? This is pure speculation, but do you think they might be concerned about a similar situation there?
Could very well be. Hold on, let me grab this and tell them to hold on just a second. Hold on one second.
Hello, Craig Robbins calling.
Okay, Craig, hang on one. Well, Craig, hang on 1 second. Craig, let Joe finish up. Okay.
No problem.
All right.
I'm on hold.
All right. Go ahead, Big Joe.
Yeah. I know you've got other callers. I'll let you go, but thanks again for a great show.
Yeah. Well, appreciate it. Thank you very much. Yeah, that's a good point. We're going to have to see who we can ask about that and see why they have elected to not talk about the bones anymore. I don't know. That's a really, really good point. And I'm curious myself why somebody else brought that up yesterday also and wondered the same thing. Why no bone talk? Because that is a very significant find. So thanks for bringing that up. I appreciate it. Somebody said the bone.
Happy New Year to you guys.
Oh, Happy New Year to you too. Thank you. All right. So somebody brought up, said the bones, the lead slag found in archaeologist McGinnis needs to be tested to see if the isotopes match the lead cross and the lead pin also already found. Yeah, I don't know. That's very interesting. Hey, Mike Grollo is here now. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. DNA can be performed on coconut fiber and find its actual growth location. Really? Now that would be interesting, wouldn't it? All right, who do I got on the phone over there? Hopefully we can we'll get to hear you.
Hello, this is Craig Robbins.
Hey Craig, how you doing?
Good. I just have a kind of a general comment about your show. I know in the past you've mentioned that you've been into metal detecting the last couple of years.
Yes.
And anyway, same here. I've got into metal. I was inspired by watching Gary Drayton. My son has a metal detector. And so anyway, my son, we've been metal detecting. He lives in the foothills of the Sierra Nevada, just outside Yosemite National Park.
Oh, cool.
Which was all gold rush country.
Yeah.
We went up there metal detecting on his property, and we found a bunch of, hundreds of old square cut nails and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought that it would be great if you could, as one of your guests some night, have Gary Drayton on and just have a whole show about metal detecting. And
I would like to do that. I've talked to Gary. Let's put it this way. Gary, as far as Gary is concerned, the invitation has been put out to Gary to come on the show. He has elected, gracefully declined for now. And I don't know if it's mainly because of his NDAs. I suppose it is, but who he works for is a little different than the rest of the folks on Oak Island who work for Marty and Rick, where I think things are a little different for him. But like you just said, to have him come on and just talk about metal detecting, why not, right? Because that doesn't have anything, well, it does kind of, but he doesn't have to worry about hurting his NDA if he's just talking about metal detecting, right?
Right, yeah, it's just like techniques and, you know, how to look and what you're looking for and different things. And may not even have to do anything with the Oak Island
Right.
show, but just the metal detecting in general. And if it's okay, I know you have your email address down there. I'll send you some pictures of the stuff we found.
Oh, please.
In case you're interested.
Oh, absolutely. Please do. I would love that. Anybody?
I found, like I say, hundreds of square cut nails. Some of them used, some of them are brand new. We have found tons of really cool looking buttons. No gold yet, but we're still looking. You know, we're still looking for that can of gold coins because in the county, my son's in Madera County and in Mariposa County, which is the next one over. These people on their property found some tin cans full of old gold coins that were from some bank robbery in San Francisco years and way 100 years ago. And
oh my gosh! Wow.
So anyway, the coolest thing I found was an old. It's like a milk or cow. The cowbells, little miniature cowbells wind chime.
Oh, really?
And anyway, I'll email you some pictures.
Please.
You can check it out.
Please do. And I was just going to say too.
All I wanted to say.
Okay. Well, just, we also have two experts. Gary's an expert in metal detecting, but we have two experts that actually watch the show. One's here tonight, Donna McCauley. She's an expert. Okay. She's an expert metal detectorist. And so is Gypsy Jules. So, I mean, I don't think,
on all the different shows.
Yeah, exactly. And I think Donna would love to come back on. And I would love to have Donna back on. So there you go. There's a good reason for me another good reason for me to have Donna back on the show is talk about metal detecting. So, all right.
Yeah, I ended up getting a Garrett 18 Max, which is, for me, it's perfect. It's a good, decent one.
Yep.
And it does everything. I search every target I hit. So,
all right. Zero discrimination.
Let me talk and have a good night. Have a happy New Year. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right. Have a good night and a good happy New Year to you. All right. Bye-bye. That's awesome. And it's so true because Donna and Gypsy, excellent metal detectorists, and we let's do it. Let's just have a show about that. I've got my Garrett metal detector as well. I love it. And again, I'm a newbie with this thing. I mean, I'm just learning really how to really use it properly. And that's one of the reasons why I'm going to go out there with Gypsy. And I'm also hoping to meet Donna. Donna and I have talked. I would like to meet Donna while I'm in Texas as well. And get some teaching from them about how to properly use my metal detector. And I'm one of those people that I feel dig it up. I mean, I don't care if it's giving me a beep or whatever it is. I'm going to dig it up and see what the heck it is. It might just be how many pull tabs from old pop cans, the ones that used to pull the tab off and have the little ring and all that. How many of them have I found? Quite a few, but I don't care. I'm going to dig it up anyway. I'm going to dig up whatever I find. So, all right. Well, I kind of yeah, I know. I'm going to meet Gypsy. Yes, I am going to meet you. Come on, John, you can go take some time off. March 17th, Kerrville, Texas. It's a 2-day event. Come on out. Let's do it. Whoever else wants to go, I'm telling you, I'll put a post up for it too. It does have a cost to it. And you do have to get a local lodging in the area. Of course, I'm taking the mobile unit here, and I'll be staying in a campground actually out there I'm going to stay out there a couple weeks probably. But I mean, come on, let's go. Kerrville, Texas, March 17th. I'll put a link in the description, and we'll put it on our Facebook page of where you need to go to be able to sign up for it. It does have a cost, but you're going to learn how to metal detect. And she's also they're putting some silver coins out in the ground. They're staging them around this big, like 5-acre place. They're putting coins out. They're putting some surprises out for people to find and dig up. If you find something and then thank you. Zero Discrimination is her YouTube channel. Yeah, Zero Discrimination. But she's having prizes. I mean, food. It's going to be a nice event. I can't wait to go. So you guys should check that out. If you're into metal detecting, and you want to learn from some of the best, there you go. And like I said, I want to learn from her. I want to learn from Donna. Yeah. So there you go. Anyone else wants to call in? We'll take your call if you feel like it. And if you want to jump in the Discord channel, that one worked really well. I didn't have to do anything in the Discord to get that to work. That already came over really well. And I'll have to keep working on this, this thing with the calls, not being able to hear it. But anyway, we have our Discord channel open as well. So I'm going to mute myself over there real quick so it's not doubling down. There we go. So I don't know. What do you guys think about season 10 so far? Let me know in the chat. I mean, I think it's an awesome season. I'm really enjoying it. Let's see who this is.
Ray R.
Ray R. All right, let's talk to Ray R. Ray, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right. Hopefully everybody can hear you. I'm going to turn it up a little bit here. What's going on tonight, Ray?
I've been buried in the show for 10 years. And I'm surprised you answered my phone call. But anyway, in my opinion, what they're giving us since it's the start of the season is tidbits. And the tidbits they're giving us is going to be just tough. So we keep watching until the end of the season. And why they're not showing us sonar from C1? They've already sonared it, in my opinion, but they'll show us at the end. So and all that. So it's going to be a season long, and it's going to be really interesting. And I can't wait to see what happens at the end.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's one of the unfortunately, that's one of the truths about the production of a television program. And you have to know that some of the feelings between the production company, when in this case is Prometheus, and the Oak Island team, there has to be a little bit of, how do I put it nicely? A little bit of rough edges on that, because the TV show, they want to make money and they want to keep people coming back. Okay. That's the one side of it. They want to keep people watching so they can sell ads and they can make money. We all know that. And if you don't know that going in, then you're fooling yourself. Okay. The TV show is to put out a good, entertaining TV show, but keep people there and keep selling ads. Okay. We know that. Go into it knowing that. Now, as far as the Circa Trova and the Oak Island team, I feel personally that these are men of integrity. These are people, I should say, take out men. I'm sorry, because there's women on there, Helen and all of them. They are people of integrity that want to really get to the bottom of what they're doing. But at some point, in some cases, they're a little bit at the mercy of the editing of the TV show. It's part of what we have to deal with. How many times have we seen the gold knob? That back when they showed us the gold knob, they didn't tell us it was just a gold knob. They knew it at that time, but they're like, oh my gosh, we got a great find. Turns out it was a gold knob, or it was a brass knob. I'm sorry, a brass knob. It wasn't gold. Okay. It was still important. It was still a nice find. And were they leading us a little bit with it? Yeah. Okay. They wanted you to keep you coming back. But that's the side of it that we have to deal with, that we know that happens because they want the ad revenue and they want to put out an entertaining show that people keep coming back and watching. But I really honestly feel that the people of Oak Island and Circa Trova, excuse me, are people of integrity. And I got a feeling that they get rubbed a little raw sometimes with the way the editing is done, but I don't know how much control they have over all of that. So I understand your point. I really do.
Can I say one last thing?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, okay. I think that because there's another YouTube channel I watch that had a bunch of drone videos from this year, but I think at the end of this season, if they've found anything major, that by now, since the season's already over, I think if anything major was already found, I don't think Prometheus or anybody else would have stopped them from saying, I found a chest of gold, or I found this historical artifact at a certain depth. I don't think they could keep that under headlights. And that's just an opinion.
Yep. You know what? And I kind of agree with you on a certain level of that. If it was a super significant find, it is very likely that it would leak out at some point. But I do think that what we are getting closer and closer to, and again, this goes back to my own personal feelings and my own personal opinion of it. And I've said this on the show many times. Would we love to see them pull out a Gerhardt truckload of gold and silver coins? Absolutely. But I want to get down to the nitty gritty. I want to know the who, what, why, when, and where, just like Rick does.
And so do I.
You know, I would love to see him pull out that treasure. And yes, I do agree with you to a point that if a super significant find was found, something like that was found, I think it would leak its way out. And they might even lead us to going, folks, we found something great this year. We just wait, stay tuned. They might even do something like that just to keep us there, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But I do think there's going to be at least one more season. And I don't know that they found anything super, but I think they got some answers this year. I think they really got some good answers. And who doesn't want to go underground with them and see those tunnels?
Exactly.
But I do see your point. I really do see your point, Ray. Huh? What's that?
Yeah. Thanks for taking my call. I'll keep watching. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Thanks for calling in. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
All right. Bye-bye. So yeah, very good points. I mean, you know, unfortunately, that's the case of it. I mean, you're at the mercy of that. And how many researchers, have been stuck in that same thing, that have been on the show, given up their research and talked about it. And yeah, it's a long thing. Yep. Yes, I agree, David. I really, truly agree with that. They do. They want to represent the best professional and moral way to answer the conundrum. And it will go on as the kids pick up the pace. Yeah. Again, I don't know. And I have a feeling that they didn't have a great treasure find this year. But I do feel that they got some answers this year. And like I said, who doesn't want to look down underground and see where they've been? I just can't. I can't wait to see that. And I really do believe Dumas made their way underground. I think they went past the 77 feet. At least I hope so. They were there, for crying out loud. They didn't leave the island until when? October? Something like that. So what did they find? How far did they go? Were they able to actually tap into a tunnel? Another tunnel down there. And where does this tunnel that they're following now, where does this lead? But again, Doug, yes, treasure his history, but I want to know the who, what, why, when, and where. I have to know that. That's gonna, and you know that Rick Lagina is never going to give up, even if the show stops. The show is done. There's no more Curse of Oak Island on TV. Do you think Rick Lagina is going to stop trying to get answers? I don't think so. I think he's going to keep on searching. He's going to have his team still working. This is going to continue on until he gets some answers for himself. And I think that's the way it's going to go down, personally. I don't know what you guys think, but I don't think he's going to stop. I don't think, I know it helps him to pay for the show, or to pay for their searching to a degree. I don't think they get a whole lot from History Channel or Prometheus, but I know it probably helps, but they're not going to stop. He's not going to stop searching for the answer, regardless of whether there's cameras there or not. So that tells me that. But anyway, I think they did get answers. They have been getting answers. Yes, they have, Kate. That's exactly. a good point. They have been getting some answers, but they've been getting also a lot of questions. You know, the dating of the wood and stuff like that is just crazy. Every time they turn around, they get more dates that now take them from 1200 to the 1700s. It's like, having met several members of the fellowship, I can say with certainty they are conducting a genuine search. Yes. Thank you, Tom. I agree 100%. I agree 100%. All right. Well, unless there's any more phone calls, I'm going to wrap it up, folks. Don't forget about the Discord channel. Like I said, I like to hang out in there watching the reruns. I'll sit in there and talk with you on the voice chat if you want. We can talk just on the text chat during the show. Of course, when it's on, I'm glued to the TV. I'm taking my pictures or my screenshots, capturing my screenshots and all of that. But during the commercials, we can certainly talk about what's happening on there. So yeah, if you feel like you want to hang out in the Discord channel with me and a few of us other ones that are hanging out there, please do. It's a pretty simple thing to do, but I know Discord's not for everybody. You can see over here, I'm going to show the picture here once again, just to let you see it. Oops, there we go. That's Discord right there. That's the screen. And you see Big Joe's in it right now, and you can see the things that we were talking about last night. This was all of us in here talking last night, chatting away about stuff. It's a pretty simple thing. If you want to join Discord, great. If you don't, no big deal. I understand that too. So, but it is a lot of fun, and it gives us a chance to talk while the show is going on, at least during the commercials anyway, and kind of chat it up about what you think about the particular show. So, all right, folks, I think I'm going to wrap it up, but thank you for being here tonight. It's been a lot of fun. Just had somebody new join the server. So that's cool. All right. Well, thanks for joining. But anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. Happy New Year, folks. I hope everybody had a great Christmas. I know I sure did. And I'm doing some exploring here. I'm going to be going down. I'm meeting up with a team that's going out looking for skunk ape, Bigfoot down here in, or I guess that's more in South Central Florida. I've been invited with the team to go out and do a little investigating. So I'm going to be doing that. I'm looking to do some ghost hunting while I'm down here, meeting folks that I've been talking to on the show. I'm really enjoying Florida. Going to be here for a couple months, and then I'm heading for Texas. So, but I really have had a fantastic time with all of this and everything. So I really appreciate everybody being here tonight and talking with us. And like I said, don't forget, we're going to try to do a recap on Wednesday night of the January 3rd episode of Oak Island. And then on the 5th, we're going to get in Beyond Oak Island recap for that on the 5th. And don't forget about Luca Santoni and his team coming on for episode number 4 of the Templars. That's going to be awesome. I can't wait for that. And I'll get to meet this lady right here, Amy Johnson, who plays the part of Gudrid. I hope I pronounced that correctly. I try. Anyway, Happy New Year, everybody. Catch you next time right here on the Curse of Oak Island on the 4th of January. All right. We'll see you later. Enjoy the rest of your week and have a good Happy New Year. Bye-bye, everybody.